most visited country in the world is France. Arrivals are 86.9 million. Increase by 5.1% year-on-year. Its fiche was, that is a French word, is perhaps that keeps tourists coming to this land of romance, a whopping 86.9 million of them a year. France, famous for the Eiffel Tower, is the symbol of the country, and one of the first things that pop into your head when you think of France. The Louvre is the most popular museum in the entire world, and undoubtedly one of the most famous tourist and art attractions in Paris, and perhaps France. It gets over 10 million visitors every year. It is famous for the Palace of Versailles, the principal royal residence, and also famous for its influence in the fashion world. Paris is one of the 4 fashion capitals of the world, and for many more places. Second most visited country is Spain. Arrivals are 81.8 million. Increase by 8.6% year-on-year. Spain is a stunning country in the Mediterranean, famous for a lot of things. From bizarre events like La Tomatina to the insane beach parties in Ibiza, the only constant is the extravagance and pure hedonism. And that's just scratching the surface. Easily the most famous thing about Spain is Ibiza and its wild parties. The party island is known for having some of the best parties in Europe that last well into the night, with the most famous DJs in the world. Football is a close second when it comes to things Spain is famous for. El Clásico is probably the most famous derby in the entire world. Spain is pretty famous for its delicious and spicy dishes. And one of those is paella, a rice dish that originated in Valencia. But it is also popular for the stunning beaches and crystal clear azure sea. Just some of the reasons why people flock to Spain, and subsequently get exhausted by the Spaniards. Did we mention their rebellion? Spain is a popular destination not only for all the above but also as a place of worship. Camino de Santiago, a network of paths leading to the shrine of the Apostle Saint James the Great in the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, is popular not only with pilgrims but also hikers, cyclists and organized tour groups. At number 3 is the United States of America. Arrivals are around 76.9 million per year and increase by 0.7% year-on-year. Despite the lowest increase in tourist arrivals year-on-year, the US holds strong as the 3rd most visited country in the world. The United States of America is literally the most famous place on earth. Since there are no second thoughts about its popularity, what are the things that make this country so famous? Besides a long list of tourist attractions like the Statue of Liberty, Golden Gate Bridge, Mount Rushmore, and Grand Canyon, there are numerous other factors that serve as fuel for the popularity of the US. Hollywood is one of the most famous things about America, which is known to set some of the highest standards for film industries around the globe. It has more famous cities than arguably any other country in the world: New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Miami, and Chicago being just some of them. There's plenty for culture vultures like New Orleans, Austin, Boston, and nature lovers too. Yosemite, Grand Prismatic Spring, and Grand Canyon are just a few of the many national parks full of weird and wonderful things. Americans have a distinctive approach to innovation and technological development. The entrepreneurship spirit of every American is much higher than in the rest of the world. The United States is home to almost every biggest invention or innovation. For example, IBM made it possible to make personal computers a reality, and Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, PayPal and many other global firms. At number 4 is China. Arrivals are 60.7 million. Increased by 2.5% year-on-year. Some people would argue that China deserves a place on our list of the world's most divisive destinations. This seems to matter little, however, in terms of tourist numbers. There's the world's longest wall, the Great Wall of China, the world's largest collection of 2,000-year-old life-size figurines, the Terracotta Army, and the world's largest ancient palace, the Forbidden City. There's also beautiful Guilin, the splendid Yangtze River, the renowned Yellow Mountains, the lovely pandas and the beaches at Sanya. About 35 million Chinese live in caves. China is a behemoth on the world stage in size, population, and economic strength. The world's oldest continuous civilization offers gleaming monuments to progress countered by rich threads of antiquity. Mist-shrouded mountains, sleepy water towns, archaeological wonders, and world-class cuisine are just a few of the myriad reasons why 60 million tourists flock to this country each year. At number 5 is Italy. Arrivals are 58.3 million. Increased by 11.2% year-on-year. In Italy, Rome, the place where legends are born, legacies shone and gelato grants entry to heaven. And that's just the beginning. Italy is easily one of the world's most popular destinations. Millions flock to Rome every year to revere the Vatican City. Milan is headquarters for ancient art and modern fashions. The long Mediterranean coastline is dotted with exclusive resorts, and the canals of Venice have long been the inspiration for art and romance. Clearly, Italy has impressed the world with its history and culture for centuries. It is famous for luxury cars. Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Lamborghini, and Maserati are coveted by car enthusiasts around the world for outstanding performance and hot looks. Today, the price tag of a Ferrari is higher than the average home in many places. New York City's honking yellow cabs are iconic, and no one leaves London without a ride on a red double-decker bus. The motorized iconic equivalency in Italy is a Vespa. If you've read any romance novels set in Italy, you've heard of them. There's charming Verona, iconic Venice and the heart-stoppingly stunning Dolomites. If you have to be unoriginal in Italy. At number 6 is Mexico. Arrivals are 39.3 million and increase 12.0% year-on-year. Mexico has become a hugely popular tourist destination over the past decade and has influenced the world's food and culture in so many ways. Mexico is known for its food and drinks culture, like tacos, tortillas, burritos, tequila, and for being the origin of chocolate. Mexico is also famous for Mayan temples, cenotes, mariachi bands, beach destinations like Cancun, the Day of the Dead festival, and unfortunately, drug cartels. In past years, Mexico has jostled with Thailand and Russia for a place on the list of the world's most visited countries. This year, it sits comfortably mid-list with over 39 million tourist arrivals. Aside from the food and drink of Mexico, Mayan temples are probably the next most iconic feature of this vast country and are one of the main reasons people choose to visit. Mexico is only set to... At number 7 is United Kingdom. Arrivals, 37.7 million. Increased by 5.1% year-on-year. And so we come to our homeland of Britain, a green and pleasant land full of sedate sights like Stonehenge set to a backdrop of gloomy skies and seemingly endless drizzle. Still, there's plenty here to draw tourists. World-class museums, dramatic forts and castles, charming countryside villages and a cheese-rolling competition have all helped propel the UK to the top 10 most visited countries in the world. When you think about what is the UK famous for, there are some things that come to your mind like, the UK is located in the northwestern coast of Europe. It's one of the strongest countries of the continent. It has a huge history, and you may also think about the many beautiful places you can visit. As you probably know, the UK isn't going through its best days because of the Brexit. But a visit to Great Britain won't be less enjoyable because of the Brexit. Let's talk about the UK's famous places to visit. Everyone knows about London, which is one of the most famous things in England, or about Glasgow or Cardiff, some of the biggest and most famous cities in the UK. The architecture, big buildings, street art, local activities, or beautiful cityscapes are some of the things you will find in the big cities. The best is that all of them are different. Although big cities are beautiful, something that stands out in GB are the small towns. The UK is famous for having incredible medieval towns with huge and impressive castles. The most popular towns in the UK are the ones located in England, as York, Oxford or Canterbury. What is the UK famous for? Their historical impact has been huge and a lot of people are big fans of their events. It may or may not be one of your interests, but definitely it's something to be curious about. Why not visiting the places of the royal family and get to know more about it? At number 8 is Turkey. Arrivals is 37.6 million. Increase by 24.1% year-on-year. It's interesting that Turkey has had the biggest year-on-year increase on the list, 24.1% to be specific. This might be a sign that its fortunes are changing. On our visit in 2016, we were told of slowing trade caused by local conflict. In fact, a day and a half after we left, there was a bombing in the glorious city of Istanbul. Currently, Turkey is mostly trouble-free, and the first thing that comes to your mind when thinking about Turkey? In our case, the main thing why Turkey is famous nowadays is Cappadocia. We can tell you that if you open Instagram right now, in less than 5 minutes you will see a picture of that place. If it isn't Cappadocia, then it would be a photo of the famous Turkey tea, which is also all over the place. Maybe it's none of those for you. It's possible that you had something different in mind, as there are many famous things in Turkey. When you're wondering about what Turkey is known for, you end up thinking about special places like Cappadocia or Pamukkale. But there is much more. Turkey is known for having a huge variety and type of places. One of the most important things Turkey is famous for is its food. Even if you are not a foodie, we are sure you know about one of the most popular Turkish dishes, which is the kebab. For those who enjoy spicy food, we advise you to try the Adana kebabs. They are pretty good. From amazing beaches through its more than 8,000 kilometers of coastline to big mountain ranges, including Mount Arat, over 5,000 meters. You can also go to places like Istanbul or Ankara, which are the most famous cities in Turkey to visit. At number 9 is Germany. Arrivals are 37.5 million. Increase by 5.2% year-on-year. Germany has been named by Lonely Planet as one of the best countries to visit in 2019, this being the 100-year anniversary of Bauhaus, a school of design that still today influences art, architecture, graphic design, interior design, industrial design and typography. Located in the heart of Europe, Germany has a population of over 83 million people and Berlin is the capital and biggest city. It is internationally known for the Oktoberfest, car brands, football, and there should be up to 25,000 castles, ruins and ground monuments in Germany. One of the best things in Germany is exploring all the famous and breathtaking castles distributed throughout the whole country. The castles used to be homes of kings or government buildings back in the time. Today most of them are tourist attractions. The most famous castles in Germany are Neuschwanstein in Bavaria, the castle in Heidelberg and in Wartburg. If we talk about the things that Germany is famous for, the World Wars and the Nazis are unforgettable. After the Second World War, West Germany, experienced an economic miracle. Today the German economy is growing and belongs among the strongest in the world. In Europe, Germany is also known as the biggest export nation. In fact, Germany is well known as the powerhouse of the European economy due to its industrial efficiency. Products that have a designation of origin that says Made in Germany are known for having great quality. Many German brands like Adidas, Siemens, Bosch, DHL, Hugo Boss or Jägermeister are famous around the world. But car brands are probably the most famous companies in Germany. At number 10 and the last country is Thailand. Arrivals, 35.4 million. Increase by 8.6% year-on-year. Thailand, love it or hate it, it repeatedly appears on the list of the world's most visited countries. A mainstay of the backpacker route through Southeast Asia, Thailand benefits from strong tourist infrastructure, lashes of natural beauty and of course exquisite cuisine. The iconic Maya Bay on Koh Phi Phi, made famous by the 2000 film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, has experienced a sustained explosion in tourism. In 2018, it was announced that the beach would be closed indefinitely to allow it to recover from tourist damage, a cautionary tale perhaps for the countries hoping to one day join this list. Thailand is one of the most visited countries in the world, seeing over 35 million travelers annually. Some of the most iconic attractions include the stunning islands in the south, the diverse street food scene in Bangkok, and the thousands of temples scattered across the country. Josh Shepherd from The Lost Passport has lived in Thailand for the past 5 years, exploring the country from the remote mountains in the north to the tropical islands in the south. Thailand is a heavily Buddhist country with more than 41,000 temples, and more being built all the time. In many regions, you can easily explore 4 to 5 temples in one day on foot. Some of the most iconic temples in Thailand are with over 41,000 Buddhist temples across the country, you can imagine there are plenty of monks around. In fact, it is estimated there are over 3 lakh monks through Thailand. If you hadn't gathered from the 41,000 temples and 3 lakh monks, Thailand is a heavily Buddhist country. Over 94% of Thailand's population is Buddhist, with a small Muslim minority in the far south by the Malaysian border. Thais take Buddhism seriously in many aspects of everyday life. Street food is a very broad category, so this article would go on forever if I listed every iconic dish. Pad Thai, green curry, and Tom Yum Goong are a few of the most iconic dishes that you need to try in Thailand. What most travelers don't realize is that each region of Thailand has a different cuisine. The north heavily focuses on curries, the eastern regions have lots of spiced meat dishes, and the south has the spiciest food you will ever taste. One place to find every type of Thai food in Bangkok, a true melting pot of cultures with the most diverse street food scene in the world. There are almost 1000 islands around the coast of Thailand. The most beautiful islands are in the Andaman Sea, off the west coast of Thailand. Islands like Koh Lipe and Koh Lanta have incredibly clear water with stunning coral reefs to snorkel. Cheap electronics, cheap clothes, cheap souvenirs, and the list goes on. Thailand is a paradise for shopaholics. Most large shopping centers also have great food courts with a huge range of local foods. The food courts are nicely air-conditioned, a great escape from the heat, and really cheap. Beyond Bauhaus, there is plenty to do and see. The Reichstag, Brandenburger Gate and Berlin Wall are just some of the world-famous sights in the capital city. Further afield, the stunning Black Forest and its collection of fairy tale castles are a major draw for international tourists.